doing out there going on?
President Trump has said repeatedly that he could have gotten the hostages out without giving anything in exchange. What do you say to that? What do you say to President Trump now?
Yeah.
Former.
Guess who's back? Back from COVID.
Yeah, COVID.
Old Joe had COVID a couple of weeks ago, man. COVID is going back around, matter of fact, man. We got to be arm ourselves. The summer has brought the COVID back. Actually, it was kind of creeping up before that. So we got to start, especially going back to school. You know, let's get ready for that. It's funny that it's actually coming back right on time for the election.
Right on time for the election.
But you know,
just protect yourself, man. You know, don't smoke with everybody, man. Don't kiss nasty orifices.
Yeah. You know, and we back on. Unfortunately, a lot of folks still got reasons to cover up their face. Sometimes it's good, and a lot of times it might be bad. Well, you know, sometimes it might be bad.
Korea and Xi Jinping.
All right, Dan Hoffman, stand by right there.
Not to mention, and another overt example of that. Not to mention their alliance with little rocket man Kim Jong-un and North Korea and Xi Jinping.
All right. Dan Hoffman, stand by right there, wherever you are. Let's go back to the White House. Mark Meredith has some breaking details. So we've got a couple of names now.
Steve Ainsley and Brian, you're right. A couple of names and a couple of big names. The ones you guys were just talking about, which of course is the Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich, who was just sentenced in July to 16 years in prison. He had been accused of espionage. The U.S. as well as the U.S. government as well as the Wall Street Journal had flatly denied that and said that he was simply being a political prisoner of the Russians. We are understanding now from White House officials that he is part of this prisoner swap, as well as the former Marine Paul Whelan, who had been arrested back in 2018 and convicted in 2020. So these are two of the biggest names and the two of the biggest targets that the U.S. have been trying to free from Russia now for several years. You can only imagine the painstaking negotiations that this administration has had to deal with. And of course, also even going back prior to the Biden administration, that this has been a big focus about bringing these Americans home. What we don't know at this point yet is what was included in the exchange. What were the Russians essentially getting to make such a high-profile swap? These were two names that were constantly in the public eye.
Man, you got that take, man, because that shit kind of.
So you said that, hey, you the president now. You out there? Why don't you start doing something?
Okay, do something. He should have said, man, fuck these niggas. We don't negotiate with terrorists.
And he run around, you know.
We don't negotiate with terrorists, man. Do the shit I tell you to do in Ukraine. Do the shit I tell you to do in Israel.
This kind of come to a fuller process.
So look, this is basically what Jake said. This is something that we had no involvement in. He didn't have any involvement in, and so the White House played no role in this process. And the president directed his team to consult as appropriate with officials and lawyers and Department of Defense, obviously. You know, we have said this before. You know, we are. You know, our hearts go out to the families who lost their loved ones on that day. And you know, the president on 9/11 has honored them every year, and the families who lost their loved one on that terrible day.
Yeah, man, 9/11 is coming up. So the person they said that they had to trade was involved in the 9/11 attack.
Why he even alive anyway, folks? That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, man, the common logic be like, we shouldn't even be talking about these semantics. Yeah, they need somebody else because he already dead, folks. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to trade somebody else, they ain't available. You know what I mean?
Oh, Joe. So that brings us back to good old Joe.
What do you have to say
Welcome
about
back, man. Welcome back, Joe, from COVID, man. First and foremost. Come on back, Joe.
Respect the title.
That he could have gotten the hostages out without giving anything in exchange. What do you say to that? What do you say to President Trump now without giving out?
Man, he ain't the motherfucking president. That's why I say to your motherfucking ass, Joe need to curse a couple times.
Hold on, let's get the question out.
President Trump has said repeatedly that he could have gotten the hostages out without giving anything in exchange. What do you say to that? What do you say to President Trump now?
Why didn't he do it when he was president?
Sir, what a chance.
Thank you guys.
My boy Joe say, do that shit.
Do it, yeah. And he got time to do it, and nobody gonna blame him. So he could do whatever, make Harris look cool if they had a decent fucking strategy. I think both sides got lanes on them, man. Hair retards, if you ask me. I mean, Ivy League retards, you know what I mean? Got their head so far up they tell how to
I like the fact
position.
that Joe have been responding with action, though.
He ain't got no choice.
I like the fact that Joe have been responding with action while everybody been doing a whole lot of talking.
Not to mention